What is most likely the penultimate Tesla software update of 2020 has arrived on my Tesla Model 3 today, update 2020.44.10.1. And despite having the .1 on the end, which has been common amongst a lot of self-driving beta software, unfortunately it's not all about that. 2020.44.10 though does bring some nice new interface features with this update, which makes Autopilot more customizable and the media interface just that little bit better. So let's start off by showing you what the 2020.44.10 release notes look like before we go into detail. I'll let you pause the screen as I won't display them for long enough for you to read them because there's quite a lot of text. To summarise the main improvements, we have a lot more control over setting the autopilot speed. In the past, it didn't really help to avoid that problem of when you were coming from, say, a 30 to a 60 zone and engaged autopilot, it would do its best to accelerate up to 60 mile an hour. This was more of a problem if you were coming at a village and hitting a country road, as often you don't want to go 60 in your Model 3 on a country road, despite that being the official speed limit. So you get more options of a fixed speed or a percentage. We'll go into this in more detail when I show you what that means out on the road. If you stream Spotify, you'll be pleased as Tesla have updated the software interface so that you can now find and play music a lot easier with some more browser improvements added. Similar to the Spotify improvements, Tesla now displays search results in your media search on your Model 3 a little bit better, showing you more relevant results. So for example, it will show you the results for a media source that you're actively using first as opposed to a general overview. The final element that's been improved, which I think will improve the music interface the most, is the ability to hide unused media sources in the music app. If you remember from my top 10 ways you could improve your Tesla Model 3, I wasn't a fan of the way you had to interact with the music app. This should make it easier as now you can hide everything that isn't applicable. I say everything, I'll come on to that in a bit. So let's look at what all this means in reality. To adjust the autopilot speed, you go into the autopilot settings. Then under the set speed, you have speed limit or current speed. Speed limit is the speed limit of the road adjusted by the offset that you choose below, or the current speed, whichever is the biggest. So current speed is just your current speed, no adjustments, no overrides. I really like this as it gives you the ability now to set your current speed, which means no more abnormal acceleration when you engage autopilot. You have complete control to slowly increase the Model 3 speed suitable for the road you're on. In the past, it was a case of engage autopilot, then quickly tap the current speed to readjust it, or scroll frantically on the scroll wheel to get it down, either of which generally resulted in your Model 3 accelerating a little harder, then slowing down again. If you choose current speed limit, you now have more control over what that does by choosing how the cruise control speed is offset by the current speed limit. Fixed, which is what we had before, is a standard offset for all roads, which used to be in miles per hour, so you could say choose under 5 miles an hour for every road. Sometimes though that was a bit slow or not slow enough, which means the next option is probably way more useful to control your Model 3 speed, and that's a percentage offset based on the speed limit. So obviously faster roads you're going to reduce autopilot more, which will most likely be useful for those larger jumps when you change from a 30 to a 60. Not quite sure which I'm going to use most yet, but it's probably more likely to be the current speed, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to go into the details of Spotify as, to be honest, I've never used it. I generally just Bluetooth my phone. But here's a picture of it, so if you do use it, you might be able to see what's changed in 2020.44.10, but I couldn't tell you. If you find it, write in the comments below. The other addition in 2020.44.10 is the ability to change or hide the media sources in the music app. You need to go into the music app itself, then along the bottom you have a settings cogwheel. If you click on that, you have the usual ways of controlling the quality of the music played back in your Tesla Model 3. Then at the bottom, you've got a new Sources tab. Unfortunately, it doesn't dispense mayo or ketchup on request. I've heard that is coming in the next update though, so watch this space. And before you write in the comments below, I know it's spelt different and you shouldn't eat food in your Model 3 anyway. It's actually way better than McDonald's when it comes to sauces anyway, as you can actually select up to 7, not just between mayo or barbecue. So for me, who only really uses the phone or the radio, this will really help clean up my Model 3's interface and make it easier to select. However, bizarrely, you're only allowed to hide 2. What's that all about? I just want a phone or a radio. Looks like I have no choice but to sing along to tunes in my Tesla Model 3. Doesn't matter which 2 you choose, it forces you to have at least 3 on the screen. So I'm guessing if you've got 7 sources, you'd actually be able to hide 4 of them. I'm not quite sure what the 7 sources could be actually, so if anyone can fill me in and can write that in the comments below as well, that would be perfect. So this is what it looks like before, and then if you go in and hide some sources, I can't help but think about food now, this is what it looks like after. I kind of get why they would force you to have 3, as the Model 3's interface looks empty, but equally it's a bit pointless if you're not going to use one of them. Annoyingly, my Tesla Model 3 still can't ever find BBC Radio 1 from voice commands. It either navigates me to my local BBC radio station or just searches the songs. If anyone knows the way to get it to search radio stations better by voice command, can you write that in the comments below, please? That'd be great help. So that's the two main features that have been added in 2020.44.10. I've taken it out for a drive and not noticed any major differences in the behaviour of Autopilot, but I guess that will come with the future self-driving update, which has started rolling out in Canada and Norway. Hopefully it will be coming out in the UK shortly. Obviously, I'll be doing lots of videos when that arrives, so don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you found that little insight into the new software update useful, then please remember to leave a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. That's all for now. See you again next week with more Tesla Model 3 content.